Hi boys and girls. Today we're going to be reading a book from the Miss Nelson collection. So this is a collection of books with the same main character, Miss Nelson. Today's book is called Miss Nelson is Missing. Now, we don't have a blurb for this book. Remember, a blurb is the back of the book and it tells you a little bit about what you're going to find. So, this book is about a classroom of wild children that treat their caring teacher with complete disrespect. They throw spitballs during story time and refuse to sit in their seats during math. They take advantage of their teacher's good nature until she disappears. And they're faced with a horrible substitute teacher named Miss Viola Swamp, who loads the kids with homework and never gives them story time. Now, the word that you're going to think about most during this book is the word respect. And we've spoken a lot about that in our classroom. We know that respect is a deep approval or admiration for somebody based on their abilities, their qualities, and their achievement. It is very important to show respect, and it sounds like their teacher, Miss Nelson, wasn't getting any respect. So, Miss Nelson is missing. The kids in room 207 were misbehaving again. Spitballs stuck to the ceiling, paper planes whizzed through the air. They were the worst behaved class in the whole school. Look at these paper airplanes flying around in the classroom. And the spitballs stuck to the ceiling. Now settle down, said Miss Nelson in a sweet voice. But the class would not settle down. They whispered and giggled. They squirmed and made faces. Now, when someone is squirming, that means that they're moving their bodies around. We spoke a lot about idioms in our class. And we spoke about having ants in your pants. Now, that doesn't mean you really have ants in your pants. That just means that you're moving around or you're squirming around so much that it feels like little ants are in your pants. They were even rude during story hour. Rude during a read aloud. They really are the worst behaved class. Look. Miss Nelson is trying to read, and this student is upside down. And they always refuse to do their lessons. Something will have to be done, said Miss Nelson. Now, this is the author's way of letting me know that Miss Nelson is about to try and solve her problem of having rude and disrespectful children. Right here, I want to pause and make a prediction. Now remember, a prediction is a smart guess. So what I want you to do right now is think and make a smart guess. How do you think Miss Nelson will solve the problem? I want you to go ahead and pause this video and out loud to a person or to yourself, say what you think Miss Nelson is going to do to solve her problem of misbehaving children. The next morning, Miss Nelson did not come to school. Wow, yelled the kids, now we can really act up. They began to make more spitballs and paper planes. Today, let's just be terrible, they said. Not so fast, hissed an unpleasant voice. A woman in an ugly black dress stood before them. I am your new teacher, Miss Viola Swamp. And she rapped the desk with her ruler. So the word rapped, if she's rapping her desk with a ruler, that means that she's hitting the desk with her ruler. Where is Miss Nelson? Asked the kids. Never mind that, snapped Miss Swamp. Open those arithmetic books. Miss Nelson's class did exactly as they were told. Now I'm wondering here if Miss Nelson is really sick or if Miss Viola Swamp, the mean substitute teacher, was part of her plan. Now I would like to look at Miss Viola Swamp. Let's take a look at what her body is doing, her body language. Her arms are folded, her legs are standing straight. Her body is standing nice and tall. Let's look at that facial expression. Her mouth is pointing down. The corners of her mouth are pointing down. Her eyes are squinting down. Her eyebrows are pointed down. Her lips are pushed together. I'm going to be honest. I'd be a little scared and I would start to listen to her too. They could see that Miss Swamp was a real witch. She meant business. Now, I don't think that Miss Viola Swamp is an actual witch, but by the way she looks and the way she speaks to the children, this seems like the author's way of letting us know that she's really mean and really scary. Right away, she put them to work and she loaded them down with homework. Now, loaded them down with homework is another idiom. When something is loaded, it means that it's packed and heavy. So if you're loaded with homework, that means you have a lot of homework. Well, we'll have no story hour today, said Miss Swamp. Keep your mouths shut, said Miss Swamp. Sit perfectly still, said Miss Swamp. And if you misbehave, you'll be sorry, said Miss Swamp. The kids in room 207 had never worked so hard. Days went by and there was no sign of Miss Nelson. The kids missed Miss Nelson. Now that's very interesting. They miss Miss Nelson now that she's not there to be sweet, kind, and loving. But when she was there, they didn't show her the type of respect that she deserved. I bet they wish they had been more respectful when she was there. Maybe we should try to find her, they said. Some of them went to the police. Detective McSmug was assigned to the case. He listened to their story. He scratched his chin. He said, I think Miss Nelson is missing. Detective McSmog would not be much help. Well, of course not. We know that she's missing. Other kids went to Miss Nelson's house. The shades were tightly drawn and no one answered. Now, if shades are tightly drawn, that means that the curtains are down or they're closed. In fact, the only person they did see was the wicked Miss Viola Swamp coming up the street. If she sees us, she'll give us more homework. They got away just in time. Maybe something terrible happened to Miss Nelson. Maybe she was gobbled up by a shark, said one of the kids. But that didn't seem likely. I hear the sharks. Sharks, very unpleasant. Maybe Miss Nelson went to Mars, said another kid. But that didn't seem likely either. I know, exclaimed one know-it-all. Maybe Miss Nelson's car was carried off by a swarm of angry butterflies. But that was the least likely of all. The kids in room 207 became very discouraged. It seemed that Miss Nelson was never coming back, and they would be stuck with Miss Viola Swamp forever. They heard footsteps in the hall. Here comes the witch, they whispered. Hello, children, someone said in a sweet voice. It was Miss Nelson. Did you miss me, she asked. We certainly did, cried all the kids. Where were you? That's my little secret, said Miss Nelson. How about story hour? Oh, yes, cried the kids. Miss Nelson noticed that during story hour, no one was rude or silly. What brought about this lovely change? She asked. That's our little secret, said the kids. Ah, so it seems that the kids learned their lesson. That when they have someone or something that is loving and valuable, they should respect it and take care of it. Or they should respect the person and take care of them. Back home, Miss Nelson took off her coat and hung it in the closet right next to an ugly black dress. When it was time for bed, she sang a little song. I'll never tell, she said to herself with a smile. Oh, wait a minute. Miss Nelson was Miss Viola Swamp? Look, there's a wig box in her closet. There's a black dress with black shoes hanging in Miss Nelson's closet. That's her little secret. Wow. Well, my prediction was wrong. I did not predict that Miss Nelson would disguise or dress up as a mean substitute teacher.